doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them.
Hey, it's been a minute. But we're back. It's season 5 of the ELF. It's time to get things rolling. It's time to dive into it, and it's time to talk some ball, especially now that we're heading into the European League of Football and Europe season just in general. But it's time to dive into it. Athletes Forum Podcast. You guys know how this works. Drop a comment, like the video, subscribe, share with a friend. We got to get this thing going. Hey, it's been a while, and the way to kick off, this season of Athletes Forum Podcast in the covering the ELF, there's some things I want to talk about in regards to this offseason, because I got questions. I got comments. I got concerns. I got thoughts that I need to get off my head, and we're going to sit here and we're going to talk about it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into it. ELF Season 5. First thing I want to talk about. The Surge got a new identity. This is going to be a really, really different Surge team. This is a Surge team where we're used to seeing guys like Darnell Stewart Jr., guys like Lewis Geyer, guys like Yannick Mayer over the past couple of years, and Riley Hennessy toting the rock. Well, from my circles, Lewis Geyer just got the invite to the CFL Combine. Kudos to him. I know, watching him grow since the first year playing for Stuttgart, going to Cologne, coming back to Stuttgart, and his development, that's something that's well-deserved for him. Yannick Meyer just went to the Vienna Vikings, a former team he used to play for before joining ELF, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Surge got a new identity. And if there's one thing with the Surge, with this regime, with this coaching staff, is that you're never going to be able to count Jordan and his coaching staff out. What they've done with the Swabish Hall Unicorns, what they've done with the Surge over the past few years, going to an ELF championship game, coming up a game short last season. We should never really count out the Surge, but this is definitely going to be a different Surge team. All right. Obviously, they signed Tommy Awewu, coming off a down year from his first year in the ELF. He looked for a change of scenery. He's going to Stuttgart, right? He's going to be playing with Kai Hester as well at the running back position. Who's going to be throwing in the rock? Who's going to be catching the rock? We don't know. All right, listen, I didn't know this was going to happen, but God has a funny way of working. So at the time of making this video, Riley Hennessy was not signed with the Stuttgart Surge. Now he is signed with the Stuttgart Surge. So Surge do have a quarterback. Riley Hennessy, 27-year-old, comes back, plays for the Surge. That's great because that's something we all wanted. And they have a receiver. Wide receiver Jeff Cotton. I know he played for a couple teams. He's from Idaho State, Jaguars, Packers. So Jordan Newman found somebody, but I just want you guys to know, quick break. At the moment when recording this video, quarterback receiver was not signed, quarterback receiver now signed. Let's continue on. If there's one thing we should know about the Surge team is that they're going to be well coached. They're going to play good defense, and they're going to find a way. All right. But I just want you guys all to know that this is going to be a different Surge team. What do you guys think about it? Marcus, drop a comment in the chat, brother. What do you think about this Surge team and, the direction they're going? Obviously, they're going to be playing in a different conference as we move now to 4 teams. They're going to be playing, your Paris Musketeers, your Frankfurt Galaxies, your Cologne Centurions, right? So it's going to be a little bit of a different conference, and, a lot of things have shaken up in between there. It's going to be different from the Central, what they played in, but I'm interested to see what this Surge team is going to look like. So drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the Surge team. But we saw how they ended last year in the playoffs. Obviously, a couple turnovers, a comeback from the fire, however you want to decipher that. I would love to see Riley Hennessy back. But just keep in mind that this is going to be a totally different Surge team, but you should never count Jordan and his staff out. All right. Next thing I want to talk about. Oh, the Fire. The Rhine Fire. Is this a 3-peat in the making, right? The Rhine Fire took a little bit of a hit this offseason. Obviously, they lost a lot of guys to the Nordic Storm. Whenever you lose, a guy like Jadrian Clark, this is his league. All right. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. As much as everybody likes, other quarterbacks in the league, obviously Zach, Riley and Ben Holmes. This is Jadrian Clark's league. 2-time ELF champion, MVP. He's done it at an extremely high level with a great team. Glenn Tunga goes with him to Nordic, leaving the Fire. This is going to be interesting in terms of what Jim Tomsula, who not only from a player standpoint, but from coaches, obviously losing Andrew Weidinger to Madrid, what this Fire team looks like going forward. I think, to be honest, they've done pretty well so far in regards to obviously signing Harlan Kofi to the record-breaking 5-year contract, right? And that has to go both ways. We'll talk about contracts a little bit later. Bringing in someone like a Jordan Buller, another fast guy, Euro guy, has made his mark, obviously, with Vienna. Now he's going to the Rhein Fire. And they have a new guy under center in Chad Jeffries. Chad Jeffries, veteran in the league. He's played well. You saw how he's been an MVP candidate. You saw how he balled out in a couple games last year. Is Chad Jeffries the guy to lead this three-peat? That's going to be the biggest question because the defense has pretty much stayed intact. Omari Williams is back. Maurice Kings is back. Flemore Simon is back. Jansen at corner, I believe, he'll be back. So the defense is going to pretty much stay intact for the most part. The offense really took most of the hit. Is Chad Jeffries going to be the guy now to lead this Fire team to a three-peat? This Fire team that obviously they're playing back in their home stadium, which is great that they played in the first year in the league. This is going to be the third quarterback in Rhein Fire history under the ELF. Remember, we had Matt Adams before going to Jadrian Clark, and now Chad Jeffries leading the charge. So this is definitely an intriguing one. This is an exciting one. Leaving Munich, obviously, that was a statement move for Chad and the league and the shape above it, but it just shows what Tomsula and how highly he thinks of Chad Jeffries to bring him into the mix. I heard there were some other quarterbacks in the mix. That's not my business to exploit that right now. I like to keep things close to the vest unless I'm told otherwise. But with that being said, Chad Jeffries has some big shoes to fill with Jadrian Clark going to the Nordic Storm, the new team in the ELF, and we'll see. But do we have a three-peat in the making? Right? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for sure if it happens. So we're just going to have to wait to see how this all pans out. All right. But drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Tomsula and the boys, can they make this happen? Right? Can they make this happen? And I'm excited to see Tomsula versus Mr. Del Rio, right, in Paris now. That's going to be a good matchup. We're going to get that within the first 2 weeks. So we'll see how things pan out. All right. Next thing, let's talk about it. Where we going to go? Oh, Prague. They got some dogs. Prague got some dogs. Listen, I know I might have been a little bit on this hype train last year. I thought they had a pretty good season in terms of the guys they were bringing in. This season's a little bit different. This season for Prague is a little bit different than last year. And, this is a team that obviously they got their first one last year. They've made steps. This is going to be their biggest jump, all right, from year 2 to year 3 because they're building a team. You got James Brooks retiring from D and going to D coordinator. But what did they do? They go out and get some dogs at corner. They go out and get Ken Hite Jr., former Helvetic mercenary. They go out and get Jalen Embry, some of the top 2 corners in the league, right? You talk about keeping a lot of the defensive guys there. You talk about bringing in an outside linebacker, a young kid like Arthur Kingdom, who is finally going to get his opportunity to shine in the European League of Football. This is a team that is going to make some strides offensively. Willie Patterson, Radim Kalous, bringing back Lucas Cadillac. You got Javarian Smith at quarterback. This is a team with a dog identity. Guys that, got a chip on their shoulder, right? Javarian Smith played for Hamburg. We saw how that panned out. Got released early, right? Willie Patterson didn't return back to the Fire. Didn't return back to the Bravos. Both those teams went in different directions. Now he's coming in looking to prove himself. He'll be the best receiver Prague's ever had, right? Think about the first 2 years. He's the most explosive, he's the quickest, the fastest, but the most in regards to a playmaker that Prague would have ever had. And pair him up with a Redeem and some of those homegrowns they got there, along with getting some players from the Prague Black Panthers, bringing in a defensive back coach like Darko Zenard. This team identity got some dog in them. And I'm excited. You should take stock in Prague this year. This is no joke. Obviously, Enthroners, Vikings, the Panthers. I think Prague has made giant steps forward, and this is a team that you should take serious, and we need to take serious. And I'm buying stock right now. I'm buying stock in the Prague Lions right now. So it'll be interesting to see how their season pans out. Jump on the bandwagon early. I'm trying to tell you, Prague. This is a different Prague team, all right? And we all should be excited how this pans out. Next, remember, I got questions, I got comments, I got thoughts. Berlin, what the hell are you doing? What in the world is Berlin doing? We think about Berlin. So where do I want to go with this? My team, the team I root for, Helvetic, signs one of the top receivers in the league, Aaron Jackson. One of the biggest signings the league has ever had. From type of player to type of team, marrying them together. It was a great time in 2024. And then 2025 comes along and Helvetic has to release him? Why? Well, this is basically just going off the statement and the news article on the ELF website. Why does Helvetic have to release Aaron Jackson? Well, some contractual disagreements or something with Berlin where he's not allowed to play for Helvetic? Berlin, what are you doing? I could get it if a guy signs a multi-year deal and he's not holding up his end of the bargain. I understand that. But in this case, Berlin doesn't even want to sign Aaron Jackson. Force Aaron Jackson to retire from the ELF. Now he's playing with the Berlin Rebels. I know he wanted to stay in that area. He does a lot of youth in Berlin, the city. He loves it. I get it. It was a big opportunity to come to Helvetic and a big jump, and we were excited about it. But because something happened with the contract in Berlin that he can't play for Helvetic, but Berlin's not even signing Aaron Jackson? Now he has to go to GFL? What's up with that? Like, Berlin, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Either release the man or sign the man. That's easy. And right now, you don't have any receivers on your team that we know of, right? So, Berlin, I'm a little disappointed with Berlin in terms of how they handled that situation. Again, I understand people got to hold up their end of the bargain, but if you're not even going to sign the guy to your team, why hold him to the contract? Why not just release him? It doesn't make sense. Locker room, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Am I crazy for thinking the way I'm thinking about this whole situation? All right. Let me know what you guys think. Let's move on to the next one. I don't want to spend too much time on that. All right. Whoa. Vienna. All right, listen, over the first couple of years, this team, when Vienna entered the ELF, this was a team really didn't get a lot of love. Really got some doubt, I'm not gonna say hate, but really was underlooked their first couple of years in the ELF. Even last year, they were a little bit underlooked. They made some huge moves. Let's talk about it. Re-sign Ben Holmes, right? You bring in Reese Horn, right? Noah Torre, all right? And you sign Yannick Meyer, a guy who used to play in the organization, familiar with Vienna. You bring him back? That is huge. Like, the weapons Vienna has this year offensively. I mean, this is going to be a revenge tour for Vienna as they try to make it back to what will be their third ELF championship, right? And trying to secure their second, become the second team to have a second ELF championship. Vienna is on a revenge tour, and we're going to see how this all pans out. We're going to see how, and you look on the defensive side, obviously you lose, X, who ends up going to North Storm, but you sign Divine Buckram, right? You obviously bring back Swacker. I forget. I can't pronounce his name. The linebacker. And I'm hearing some rumblings of another corner type safety they may bring in. And if they get this guy, Vienna is a dangerous team right now on paper. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. In all of this, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Right now on paper, Vienna is a dangerous dangerous team. Not to mention Florian Beer Bomber's still back. Man, like, granted, conference they play in, until someone beats them, they're going to win that side based on their geographics. But we're going to see how, this pans out in regards to, with the league scheduling tougher games, more competitive games, more balanced games, which is something huge that we all wanted. So look out for Vienna. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out their roster because Vienna is looking dangerous. All right. And it's something we should all take note, man. Something we should definitely all take note. This is going to be one hell of a season, one crazy season. I'm here. I'm back. I'm excited to be here, chop it up with you guys, and just talk ELF ball. All right. We're going to be coming weekly going forward. Athletes Forum Podcast, ELF coverage is weekly going forward. We are leading to the season. We're going to have a couple interviews. We're going to talk about a couple topics. Couple things I want to dive into, and I'm here all the way. So drop a comment, share with a friend. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing wrapping up. The season is a couple weeks earlier this year, and this is going to be one of the most unknown, mysterious, exciting ELF seasons going forward. There's so many first-year players we're going to learn about, guys that don't have European football experience, guys that are coming from other leagues. There's a lot of new names we're going to have to get used to. Shout out to my guy Breslin, who does a good job of keeping everyone in the loop when it comes to scouting and who's good. So go check out Breslin's page. Shout out my guy Alex Malchow with the reels because they're going to be coming in fast and heavy going forward. Fourth Down Fiasco, those boys should be returning soon. Shady Sports Network, First Down Magazine, we back. ELF coverage is back, and this is going to be a fun year.